All right, today I'm going to tell you why you can't escape wanting validation. How come everybody wants to be liked by others, impress others, be validated? It's because it's human nature. We are all social creatures. That's just how we are, you know. And I always find it funny when people tell me to, stop seeking validation and to focus on myself and do these things and those things. It's like, why are you doing those things? And it's all common sense, It's because you want to get validated by others. Like when people tell you, oh, just stop seeking validation, let the validation come to you. It's like, what? And I noticed too, like I think like the way, like the reason why society is the way it is, like how we're so advanced is because of men seeking validation. Like let me give like the worst example in the entire world. Let's say it's the 1800s and some sub-5 true cell builds a house just to impress his crush and the townspeople, just to get that validation. He goes out of his way. He's really motivated because he wants that validation, and he builds a house, It's like a society is the reason why we're here is because like dudes creating things just to be validated by others, because if they didn't have like people hyping them up and shit, if they didn't have people being like, wow, good job, they probably wouldn't do shit. Because like, look at me, like I've never gotten validation in my life, and honestly, like it takes everything away from you. Like it really does, because like I have no motivation for anything. Like if I had like a genuine loving wife, I'd probably be motivated to go to a garbage minimum wage job. Like I always wonder like how those dudes make it in life, like how they like aren't depressed, and it's because they have like a family. They have all the validation. They got their kids, their wife, they got the validation. Even though they're going to a terrible job, they get to go home and have that validation. They get to be loved, all those types of things. Now, like I said, when you're like myself, severely lonely, and nobody chooses to be lonely, like nobody at all wants to be lonely. And here's the thing, like with the whole positive reinforcement, all that shit, I've never, ever once had genuine positive reinforcement. I honestly, like at the top of my head, besides like, I'm not talking about like the pity positive reinforcement where people, it's so blatant that they're lying to you to make you feel better. Like genuine good positive reinforcement, because that's pretty much what positive reinforcement is. It's validation, to make yourself feel better. You get approval from other people, makes you feel better, gives you a confidence boost, all that shit. I can't even think of a time that I've gotten a compliment or any of that. I seriously can't even think of it at the top of my head. I'm trying to think of like a time where I've had a compliment and I can't think about it. And I noticed too, it's always so funny, like as well, when these people, who say to stop seeking validation completely, these guys, they've had girlfriends in the past. They didn't miss out on teen love. And if they did, they had a girlfriend, right in college or whatever. They have friends, all that shit. Currently, not currently, they've experienced it before. And the whole thing, even if I noticed the people who have had validation before, who have had a relationship before, don't really care as much about validation, afterwards. And I kind of think I know why. Because I think like humans are naturally supposed to be depressed. And dopamine is obviously like a survival mechanic. It rewards you for surviving. That's why when we eat food, we get the dopamine, because it's keeping us alive. When we have sex, we're reproducing and passing on the genes. It's basically like nature rewarding us for keeping ourselves alive. And I think when you do something like you get validated, the chase is way better than the actual reward itself. Because you notice like even when you eat something, like right after you feel like shit, you're like, okay, and you notice like I was watching this thing the other day. It was like these people, they were like hooked up to this it was like this VR headset shit, and they were watching people do a race, and they found that the people who were watching, with the fucking VR headset, their dopamine was like 10 times fucking higher than the people actually in the race. I think it's the same thing. Like that's why porn is so addictive, because like the people watching it, their dopamine is way higher than the people actually doing it. Because it's the chase is higher than the reward. And you notice too, like when people accomplish like insane tasks, they put their all into something, the chase is like way more rewarding. And then when they get to whatever, they achieve whatever it is, they get fucking depressed, you know, like a day after, they're just like miserable, you know, they're like, damn, you know. It's like, that's why I think those people, you know, who've had validation before, are able to actually like be content with not, you know, seeking validation, because like they know what it's like. And yeah, like for someone like myself who doesn't even like know any of that shit, you know, I've never had a compliment, you know, most shit I usually I don't know, like every social interaction, especially as of lately, just hasn't been, you know, the best at all. And yeah, of course you're gonna, like I said, you can try and trick your brain. You can try and be like, yeah, I don't need validation. Because I've had my days where I've like coped my ass off and been like, yeah, I don't need anybody in my life. I got this. And it always comes back to, you know, bite you in the ass, and you'll be like, damn, I really wish I had people. You know, because like you can only cope with that shit for so long, you know, saying like, oh yeah, I don't need anybody in my life, I'm a lone wolf, you know. You hear those guys like the fucking like, oh, I'm a sigma male, I don't need anybody in my life, and then, you know, they go home depressed in their rooms and shit. Like that's pretty much me, you know. I try sometimes to tell myself like every one now and then, like, yeah, I'm glad I'm alone, I don't need anybody in my life, and then every other day is just like, damn, I wish I had somebody, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much why you can't escape validation. You know, you can try and tell yourself, hey, I don't need other people, but it's always going to be in the back of your mind. You know, just like that hunger analogy. You're going to be starving. You're going to keep telling yourself, yeah, I'm not hungry, even though your stomach is grumbling and shit, and you need to eat, but like you're just, you know, you're just telling yourself like, yeah, I don't need that shit, even though you really do. Like that's what humans need. Loneliness is not like, it really like has legitimate serious what is it, like health, it can cause health problems being alone, you know, for a long period of time. It's just not good. Humans are not designed to be alone like this, you know. But that's the way the world is now. And yeah, that's pretty much it.